Hi guys, welcome to Multiverse. We're going to talk a little bit about Game Update 92, generally speaking. There's a few things that I've already covered, so I will mention it as we go along. Also, sadly, with Game Update 92, one thing that happens, sadly, a little too often, either with game updates or with whenever there's a new DLC, is there was a whole bunch of issues yesterday. Basically, yesterday the biggest issue was people not being able to log in. We would try to log in, then it would put us in a queue, and the queue could last 5, 10, 20 minutes. I've seen some pretty crazy numbers on the forums. So basically, we were in queue for a long, long time. And then once the queue would finish, once we were supposed to enter the game, we would get kicked out and we would have to queue again. And for extra fun, like one of the few times where I actually did manage to get in the game, then the world shut down and they went through a whole bit of maintenance to try to fix the login issues. And sadly, that is something that happens with pretty much any big update and any DLC. The good news is that part of Game Update 92 already installed what we will need for the St. Patrick's Seasonal. So hopefully with the St. Patrick's Seasonal, there won't be a need for a big update. So hopefully things should run smoothly once they activate the St. Patrick's Seasonal. But I guess we're gonna have to wait and see what happens when it happens, because basically whenever there's a new update, anything can happen. But basically, the very first thing we got from Game Update 92 was the Mega Capsules. I made a video about it already. I also made a video about some of the accessories, so I'm not going to talk about that again. But basically, we got the new Mega Capsules and a whole bunch of new accessories. But we're going to take a look at one thing: is the new style tab. So basically, if you guys remember in the past, the style tab was quite a bit different. But here in this case, they went in a more logical way, I suppose. So we got the head, the face, the shoulders. So we're starting pretty much at the head, and as we go down all the styles, we go all the way down to the boots, the feet, I should say. And also, there used to be the accessory tab. Now they've split that into two tabs. There's the aura tab and the accessory tab. The aura tab is pretty much what used to be the accessories, so all the auras end up here. And the accessory tab is a whole bunch of new accessories we got with the Mega Capsules. And there's the constricting eels that was added to the accessories. Basically, the eels used to be an aura, but now it's a distinct accessory as opposed to being with the auras. And now we have the emblem, the hair, the skin, the weapon, and the movement, all the way at the bottom. For the hair and the skin, yeah, I suppose not that many people change the hair and the skin of their characters that much. For the emblem, it bothers me a bit. I change the look of my characters a lot, and one of the things I think I change the most is the emblem. So it's a bit annoying to have it all at the bottom, but it's how it works. What can you do? And of course, there's the accessories that have been added to the game thanks to the Mega Capsules. From what I understand, there's 23 new accessories that have been added to the game, and since the electric eels now count as an accessory, we have 24 accessories total right now. Unless something else counts as an accessory and I just didn't discover it just yet, it could happen. Obviously, you can find, if you search for accessory on the broker, you should be able to get all the new accessories. So you can see the ball lightning accessory. You can see some of the prices starts really high, like at 78 millions, but in some cases it drops pretty drastically. Although 12 millions, that seems a bit overpriced for that, but what can you do? Personally, I hate the ball lightning, but I'll talk about that in just a bit. The black hole accessory. The black hole accessory seems to be by far the most popular. You can see the price starts at 95 million, but it does drop all the way to 42 millions. So I think it's the most expensive one we have right now. There's the blue sparkle wheel accessory. Well, last I checked, it went down to about 3 millions, but the prices fluctuated a lot. Yeah, it still goes down to 3.8 millions. So as you can see, there's some accessories those are in demand are really expensive. Those not so in demand, the prices dropped quite a bit. So we have the blue spectral wheel accessory. Also, that one, the price went down quite a bit. So even if you don't have that much money, you can still purchase a few of those accessories for a few millions. So I'm going to try to go through them fairly quickly, but just to give you an idea of the prices. Obviously, these prices are for the PlayStation 4, or for PC since we share the same server. Odds are if you play on, and I'm playing also on the US server. So if you play on the European servers, the prices will be different. And if you play on Xbox, the prices will be different. But obviously, another thing I need to say is that prices on the broker changes all the time. Oh, we can see here like the Green Hunted Flame accessory, 2.5 millions. So there's enough of them that are cheap enough so that pretty much anyone who's a legendary should be able to purchase at least a few. At the very least one. But obviously if you want one of the more popular ones, you're gonna have to pay 20, 30, 40 millions for that. So you can see there's quite a few purple spirits at the 3 point something millions, even 3 millions. So all in all, there's 23 new accessories, and depending on which one you want, you may have to play the broker game quite a bit in order to be able to get the accessory that you want. Personally, the Spectral Skull is by far my favorite, although I do like the Black Hole as well, and even the other skull, the Spectral Skull, I kind of like that one too. So you can see right now the Spectral Skulls, the price goes from 50 millions to about 20 millions, 21.5 millions. So it's a little pricey. Obviously, it's going to require you to play the broker quite a bit if you want to get it. Sadly, if you want to have the accessory, the only other alternatives is to open some mega capsules, and the odds of getting the one accessory you want from the mega capsules are very slim. Personally, I got, let's say I didn't get some very good accessories, so I had to play the broker game quite a bit yesterday to be able to purchase. Personally, I had to purchase the purple flaming skulls and I had to purchase the black hole accessory because obviously I did not get them from a mega capsule. But then again, there's 23 accessories, so the odds of getting the one accessory that you really want are very slim. And even if you open a handful of mega capsules like I did, the odds are still pretty much working against you. And I'm not. And full disclosure, I'm not a very lucky guy. So opening the best accessory I got was the spectral skulls. But pretty much all the other were not so good accessories or even worthless on the broker. Like I was lucky to sell one of them for 5 millions maybe. So it was a bit that was a bit annoying. There were changes made to the booster gold vendor. There's a whole bunch of stuff that was added to the vendor. I made a video about that. Just watch that video if you want to know what was added. But what I really want to talk about is the map, but even better, the warp menu. They've updated the warp menu a bit. It's something they've been doing that slowly but surely. We got a new warp menu interface at some point, and it seems that as time goes by, they add more and more location to the warp menu. You can see, obviously, there's the Watchtower, but you also have Gotham. You can warp to Gotham. You can warp to Metropolis. You can warp to the nearest rally point. Of course, we had the Doomed Metropolis already for some time, and usually we have the latest DLC. In this case, the Atlantic DLC. And of course, there's the current event, which is the Valentine seasonal. So you can see you could warp straight to Hal Jordan, and also even better, they show you how much time is left for the event. I wish it's something they would probably add for, I don't know, maybe time capsules to let us know how long we have until they give us a new time capsule. Maybe something in the future. And obviously, there's our various bases. In my case, I have 4 bases. So you can see all my 4 bases here. So it's a nice quality of life bit that's been added to the game. It's a bit strange though because basically you'd figure that they would want to encourage people to purchase a teleporter, but I guess suppose by now everyone who were susceptible to buying a teleporter probably already done so. So added those options to the warp menu does make a bit of sense, even if it does diminish the value of the teleporter a little bit. And there's one last thing that I want to discuss that I think it comes from Game Update 92 because as far as I remember, before that we could not do that. It is this right here. I will show it to you. It'll make a bit more sense. So you can see right now my character is a flying character. What if I switch armory? Now my character is a speedster. And if I switch armory again, now my character is an acrobat. How is that possible? I will explain it to you in just a second. So the reason why that is possible is because I have a few items. I have the journeyman boots, which can give your character super speed, and I have the gloves of clinging, which can give acrobat movements to your character. But the thing is, I've had those for a long time and I wasn't able to do that. Because previously in the past, when you wanted to imprint an armory wearing one of those items, it would tell you that you cannot use the armory while you're transformed or something like that. So what you had to do is that even though you could switch the look of your character and your powers and all that with the armory, if you were wearing, let's say, those boots or those gloves, you could not switch armory. You had to manually go into your inventory, remove the boots, then change, let's say to, in this case I'm controller, so I had to manually go and change and remove the boots, and then change to DPS, and then I had to go back in my inventory and put the boots back on or something like that. But now it seems that we can imprint the boots and the gloves in our armory, and we can now just switch from one to the other as we see fit, just with our armory. It may not seem like a big deal, but it's something that at least some of us have been asking for quite some time. The reason for that is very simple. I will switch character to try to explain it a bit better. So quite some time ago, I've got the Joker jetpack with my Batman character. But sadly, in order to be able to use it, I had to manually equip it on my character. Some of you guys may not remember that. Eons ago, we did not have armories. So whenever we wanted to change our gear from, let's say, controller gear to DPS gear, we had to manually go into our inventory and completely manually switch our gear. The same when we wanted to switch from, let's say, PvE gear to PvP gear. Again, we had to go manually into our inventory and switch our gear. So that was, let's say that wasn't fun. So eventually, one day, when they finally gave us armories, our prayers had been answered. Finally, we no longer had to manually change our gear. We could do that just at the flip of a button. Let's switch to our... There we go. So we could manually just switch not only the look of our character with one button push, but we could also switch our entire gear. We could switch to our PvP gear. So there's a whole bunch of stuff we could do. But sadly, items like the Joker jetpack, the Journeyman boots, or the speed boots if you prefer, or the Bat Gauntlet, the Batman, the clinging gloves, those we could not, we had to manually still equip them on our character, which was a bit annoying. It wasn't that big a deal, but it was a bit annoying since now we had armories, but somehow we could not imprint those in armories. And if you're using, let's say, an acrobat character, usually playing an acrobat is fine enough. I just realized my auras aren't working. Usually playing an acrobat character is fine enough, but there are a few maps where sometimes that are hard to navigate with an acrobat. Like, let's say, for example, there's an investigations all the way in the corner, then you have to go all the way in the corner and try to get it, and you can see the character freaks out a bit. So, and there's a few maps where being an acrobat was, let's say, a bit challenging. But with the Joker jetpack, if you had that, you could then switch to a flying character, and then you could just fly smoothly so you could just fly smoothly, grab the thingy you needed, and even farming for exhibits. Like if you're farming for exhibits in Metropolis or Gotham, with an acrobat is a bit more challenging, as if you're just flying around very nicely. Or the same with the speedster, trying to farm for exhibits or for our collections with a speedster is a bit more challenging. But if you're playing with a flying character, much easier. And if you have the Joker jetpack to be able to switch from one to the other, that was perfect. Sadly, in the past, that was not an option, but nowadays, now it seems we have the option. Again, I assume this was added with Game Update 92, but I haven't seen anyone mention that just yet. So, and before Game Update 92, I'm pretty sure I tried to imprint my armory with the boots by accident at least once or twice, and it didn't work, but I could be misremembering. So just in case you're like me and you didn't know, now we can easily switch movement mode, assuming that we do have, in this case, the Monitor Propulsion Pack, which is also known as the Joker Jetpack. Or if you have the Journeyman Boots, which is also known as the Speed Boots. Or the Gloves of Clinging, which is also known as the Bat Gauntlet. Crypto is so mean. So if you have those, now you can switch from one movement to the next, just using your armory without having to manually go into your inventory and equip the boots. Again, I know it probably doesn't seem like a big deal to some of you guys, but to those of us who eons ago had to manually switch all our gear, it's always been a bit irritating to have to go back and equip manually a few pieces of gear. Now that we can actually equip it on our armory, it makes it that much easier. Sadly, now comes the bad news. For those of you who may be wondering where can we get those awesome items, where can we get those awesome boots or those awesome gauntlets or the Joker jetpack, sadly the bad news is that you can only get those from the vault, and those are a rare drop from the vault. And also, you cannot trade them. Like I think I got, I don't know, half a dozen Joker jetpack with this character. Obviously this character was a flying character, so he did not need the Joker jetpack at all. But sadly, I kept on getting the Joker jetpack with this character. And I have a whole bunch of characters, like my Batman characters, my Phantom characters. I have a whole bunch of Acrobat characters that I wish I could give the jetpack to. And sadly, it doesn't work like that. You have to run the vault with your character, and only the character who runs the vault can get the item. Like if you get the item with the wrong character, sadly you cannot trade the item. For example, I have a couple of Joker jetpacks with my evil Darkseid character, and sadly I'm stuck with it. I cannot give it to another character. I'm keeping them in case that maybe someday, many years from now, we are going to be able to trade between characters. But I don't expect that to happen anytime soon. So seeing how my character actually already has a skimming, it doesn't really need something that gives him flying. But oh well, what can you do? So Game Update 92 brought us a few nice surprises, but mainly the main thing that people took away from Game Update 92 is the various accessories. In a few cases, I'm not too sure why they gave us those. And at first, I have to admit, I wasn't too crazy about the idea of accessories. A lot of my characters probably won't ever use accessories unless they come up with some new accessories. I don't really see myself using those accessories with my Batman character, for example. But it could be that I just didn't discover the proper accessories. But you can, and the one I hate the most is those lightning balls. There's a ball lightning accessories that I really hate that one. I'll talk more about it when I make the video about that. But some of the skull accessories are pretty awesome. The kryptonite ones, I'm still on the fence about those. The fireball one is nice enough. And this one I forget what the name is. And this one, it's nice enough, but once the character is in motion, I really hate it. I'll show it to you guys in an upcoming video soon. The green energy flame balls work well enough, I suppose. But that's gonna have to wait for another video. So at first, I was really on the fence about those new accessories, and hopefully in the future they will give us more accessories that are a bit better, if it makes sense. Although the skulls are really awesome, there's a few really lame ones, like the one that Constantine has right now. And you can see people gravitating towards pretty much all the same. It's not an accident if people are buying, let's say, the skulls, or if they're buying the black holes. It's by far the best options in terms of accessories. So it's no big surprise that people are purchasing those like crazy. So early on, I wasn't too crazy about Game Update 92, but once I started experimenting with the various accessories, I started liking it a bit more and more. And again, the option to be able to switch armories and switch movement style with just the push of a button, that I love that. I know it's not a big deal, but to me it's I guess a nice quality of life addition. And also, some of you guys asked me if I could give a tour of my base. I'll try to give a quick one. And I'll use this little guy so that I can rise up a bit. So obviously there's this the wall of emblems, as I should probably call it. Some of you guys have been asking a lot about that. I made a video about it. But basically it's just a base item that you can put an emblem on it. I have a billion TVs. You'll see a few of them in just a minute. And of course, there's all my armories, as you guys can see. I have the maximum armories. I have 16 armories total. Of course, I have the evil all signal, but I have the bat signal as well. And I have a bunch of flash base items, and I have the time sphere. I love this base item. It's a big base item. Took me a while to get it for this character. Basically, now that we have a big room in our base, I had no more reason not to get the time sphere. And of course, you guys remember this from the anniversary seasonal. It's a pretty nice big hole in the wall, I suppose. And of course, we see the evil Brainiac far away. I should probably try and find something to put in those corridors. I'll have to give it some thoughts. And of course, some of my billion TVs. Of course, since we had a few new bases, my bases have been under constant renovation, I guess you could say. And now I'm on a Teen Titan craze. I've been getting Teen Titan base items whenever I get the chance. And of course, our friend Ultraman and Owlman. I should probably purchase a few more of those. So again, you can see I'm starting to get a bunch of Teen Titan base items. Again, I'm gonna have to purchase more of those. We'll have to wait and see. Some more of our billion TVs. Here I made a little vault for my bank, I suppose. And of course, it's protected by the evil Mr. Mixuspitalism. Yeah, I messed up that name completely. Mixuspitalic. There we go. It's a bit of a mouthful. But the one thing I hate is that beam. I hate when they put a beam here, no matter what the base is. So as you can see, I have quite a few Brainiac base items. Probably should have gotten more, but what can you do? And this is my Crime Syndicate room, I suppose. Although the Moebius chair, I love that chair. I need one more of those windows. I've done a bit of redecorating, and I've used those windows elsewhere. So I need one more, it would seem. And I need a few more chairs, I think. And of course, another bat signal, because why only have one? And you can see some of my billion TVs. At some point I was purchasing a lot of those TVs. It was one of the few nice base items we had at the time. It took quite a while before we started getting some actual superhero base items, if it makes any sense. For a long time we had chairs and tables and beds, which didn't really feel like a superhero base. So one of the few base items that was a bit better than the rest, I suppose, were the flat screen TVs, and I got a lot of those. course, this is my crafting area. And my combat dummies for once in a while, but usually I'll use the one in my Batman base. And of course some Speed Force stuff like the Cosmic Treadmill. I probably should have purchased another Flash base item pack for this character, but next time I suppose, or next sale I should say. So I guess this will do for those who wanted to have a little peek at my base. So that's pretty much it for Game Update 92 in a nutshell. We had a whole bunch of issues. We had a whole bunch of new accessories. We got a new Mega Capsule, so a lot of people are opening time capsules right now. If you try to use the broker and the broker goes a bit crazy, it's normal. There's a billion people who try to sell a lot of items or to buy a lot of items right now. So the broker usually goes a bit crazy when that happens. And as I showed, now finally we can imprint our boost of speed or Batman gauntlets into our armories, and we can switch from one to the other, no problem. Oh yeah. So that is pretty much it for now, guys. If you have any questions, feel free to ask so in the comment section down below, and I'll see what I can do about answering your questions. Oh yeah, some of you guys asked about that Deathstroke mask. Basically, it's just one piece. It's not a Deathstroke mask. It's not a Deathstroke headpiece and then a mask on top of it. This is the headpiece, like the whole breathing apparatus that is on the Deathstroke face mask. It is part of the headpiece. So it's not two pieces, it's one piece, if it makes any sense. So that's it for now, guys. So as always, thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.